Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Okay, here we're gonna just a follow-up video to what we've learned earlier. If you've not watched the video, try as much as possible to have a look at it first before coming to this video. All right. So we're gonna talk about the 5 rules. Okay, we've talked about the 5 rules, and we've talked about. I explained in the previous video the steps to take while solving questions with greater than. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve more questions, okay, so that we just get conversant with it. What I would advise is that as when I write a question on the board, try as much as possible. You can pause the video, try and solve it. Then when you're done solving, you come back and you check your answer with what I've done. All right. So let's pick one now. Let's say we are told to find the values of x to satisfy this inequality here. All right. So remember, I told you the first thing to do is that you're going to write this for both the positive, does that make sense? And also what? The negative. Okay? So you take it to the other side, it's going to be 2x minus x will be equal to 5. It's going to be 2x plus x will be equal to 5. Then x is going to be equal to 5. And 3x is going to be equal to 5. So you divide both sides by 3. So x is going to be equal to 5 over 3. And because it's greater than, I told you greater than is going to be less than and greater than. So it's going to be x less than 5 over 3 or x greater than what? 5. And that is the answer for that. And also, if you are being told now that to check if, for instance, whether 0 is part of the solution or 0 works in the equation, what you just have to do first, as usual, draw the line 0. Let's say this is 5 over 3, and this is going to be what? 5, for instance. Okay. Then we can now see, based on this, now we can now check if it's going to work. So what do? You just bring it out. So you say 2 into bracket 0 minus 5 is equal to, because you're trying to equate it, right? It's equal to greater than x. So basically, you're doing 2x minus 5 greater than x. So basically, where you see x, you put 0. So it's greater than 0. So this is going to give you minus 5 is greater than 0. Absolute value of minus 5 will give you 5 greater than 0. And because 5 is greater than 0, so we can say, so 0 what? Works. Okay? That's it. And that is it for this question here. What we'll have to do then, we can pick number 2, another question. So for question 2, they say find the values of x that will satisfy the inequalities of x minus 1 greater than what? 3. X minus 1 greater than 3. Same thing, you apply the first rule, you have to equate both of them to be positive 3 and equate it again to be what? Negative 3. You find the value for x. So x is going to be, you take 1 to the other side. So it's going to be 3 plus 1, and that will give you 4. And what do you now have to do next? Is that you take 1 to the other side. So x is going to be minus 3 plus 1, and that will give you what? Minus 2. All right. So what do you now have to do then? So the next thing, because it's greater than, it's going to be x less than minus 2 or x greater than what? 4. So remember, I told you if it's greater than, the smaller one is going to be less than, and the bigger one is going to be greater than, okay? Then when you're done with that, you are asked, for instance, to check. So you draw the graph as usual. You put 0. Minus 2 is going to be on the negative side. 4 is going to be on the positive side. And that is it. And also, if you're told to check this on a number line, right? If you're going to check if x is going to work in this kind of thing, basically what you just do is simple. You just say let x to be equal to 0, and you put it in the absolute value, original equation. So it's going to be 0 minus 1 is greater than 3, minus 1 is greater than 3. So 1 is greater than 3, and 1 cannot be greater than 3, so 0 does not work. Okay, so 0 does not work. Okay, so let me add one more to this, like what I said last time. If you are told, for instance, to draw the graph, okay, the same thing, you equate this to be equal to 0 to get where the vertex of the modulus is going to be. So x minus 1 is equal to 0. So therefore, x is going to be equal to 1. So we now know that the vertex of the modulus is going to be with 1. All right. So draw the graph. You draw the graph like this. Then if this is 0, then this is 1. So we know the vertex of the modulus is going to be like this, okay? And because we are knowing is x is equal to 3, so let's say 3 is this point here, okay? So 3 is this point, so we can make it more nice, greater than 3, so let's just make it a broken line. So if you want to do it this way, okay? So y is equal to 3. Then we have this here. So we know the first solution we have that was negative was minus 2. The second solution we had that was positive was 4, okay? Now, because we are looking at greater than, so all the results we have less than is not going to be part of the what? Solution. So we've done all this before in a previous video, all right? So let me pick one more. So you see, it's very easy to solve. So like I said, you can just pause the video, try as much as possible to solve it on your own and see how you do, okay? So let's pick another one. Let's say we have 2 plus x is greater than 5. 2 plus x is greater than 5. So similarly, what do you have to do? You have to then equate it. So it's going to be 2 plus x is equal to 5, or 2 plus x as well will be minus 5, okay? 2 plus x is going to give you what? Minus 5. So x is going to be, take 2 to the other side, so it's going to be 5 minus 2, and that will give you 3. Then x is going to be minus 5. You take 2 to the other side, it's going to be minus 5 minus 2, and that will give you minus 7. So x is going to be less than minus 7, or x is going to be greater than 3. That will be the answer for that. Okay? Now, what you can do as well is that you can decide to check, or you can draw it on the number line if the question asks you to draw on the number line. So if, for instance, we have 0 here, it's going to be 3, it's going to be here, minus 7 is going to be here. Now, if you want to check with 0, basically, you let x to be equal to 0 to see if x equals to 0, if 0 is a solution, okay? So it's going to be the same thing, 2 plus x is greater than 5, okay? You put 0 there, so it's going to be 2 plus 0 is greater than 5, then have 2 greater than 5. Now, is 2 greater than 5? Nope, so 0 does not work. Can you see? 0 does not work. If you want to draw the graph as well for this, you see, it also follows the same principle. So if you draw it, you will see that 0 will not be part of the solution. So if this is 0, okay, and first thing first, we need to get where the, what do you call it? Well, where the vertex of the modulus is going to be. So we're going to make 2 plus x to be equal to 0. So therefore, x is going to be minus 2. So therefore, the vertex is going to be here at minus 2, all right? The vertex is going to be here at minus 2. So we're going to draw our graphs here, okay? So when you draw your graph, will you notice as well that if this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis, okay? Let me make it a little bit clearer. So if it's a y-axis, something like this, then let's assume y is equal to 5, somewhere here, okay? So let's assume y is equal to 5. So let's make it to the broken line this time. So y equal to 5. So that means the higher point was 3, and the lower point is what? Minus 7. As you can see as well, because it's greater than, it's anything above the line, so anything below the line is not going to be part of the what? The solutions. So you can see 0 is not part of the solution. I'm tempted to just add one more. Let me see if I have more time. Just add one more quickly. And let's see. So same thing. We have, let's say we have 3x minus 2 is greater or equal to 6, for instance. The same thing, it's going to be 3x minus 2 is equal to 6, or you have 3x minus 2 is equal to minus 6. You solve it, then you take, it's going to be x is going to be 6 plus 2 divided by 3. You take 2 to the other side, or 3x is going to be minus 6 plus 2 divided by what? 3. So 6 plus 2 will give you 8 over 3, right? So the main thing is that you have to ensure you equate it to both positive and negative. Then this is going to give you, x is going to give you minus 4 over 3. So because it's greater than, so it's going to be x less than minus 4 over 3, or x greater than 8 over 3. And that will be the answer for that. If it's also draw it on the number line, because it's minus 4 over 3 is going to be on the left-hand side. 8 over 3 is going to be on the what? Right-hand side. If you're also told to check if x or 0 is going to be part of the solution. So what you want to do is that you're going to equate x to be equal to 0. So 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Does that make sense? Sorry. You go back to original equation. So 3x minus 2 is greater or equal to 6. You put 2 here, put 0 there, I beg your pardon. So it's going to be 0 minus 2 greater or equal to 6. That'll be minus 2 is greater or equal to 6. So minus 2 cannot be greater or equal to 6. So 0 does not work. Okay, and you can also see if you want to draw the graph as well, you also see that 0 does not work as well. So to get a vertex, you equate the 3x minus 2 to be equal to 0. So x is going to be 2 over 3. So you draw your graph. This is going to be 0. This is going to be 2 over 3. Okay, and we know this is going to be the modulus graph. Okay, and we're looking at x to be equal to 6. So if this is the x-axis, so this is going to be the what? The y-axis, okay? So what do? You draw a line, okay? Sorry, I don't know why yeah, you can use a solid line because it's greater than or equal to. So let's say y is equal to what? 6. The point here is going to be the greater than 8 over 3. And the other point here is going to be the less than 4 over 3. All right? So because we're looking greater than, above the x-axis, so we're looking at points above. So because it's greater than, so all the solutions are above this part. So the left hand is not going to be part of the solution. That means this part are not part of the what? Solution. So you can also see that 0, 2 is not going to be part of the solution. And that will be that for that. Okay, so I've shown you how to do for less than. We finished now how to do for greater than. So what I would advise you to do now is that I want you to go back. I want you to practice more questions. And if you have any questions, just let me know. In the next video, we're going to talk about a little bit more complex inequalities and see how we do about that. Is that okay? All right. So I want to see you in the next video. And if you have any questions, please do let me know and I'll get back to you. All right. Thank you very much.